Alright, the effect of syphilis before salvarsan and penicillin were around, from 1880 to 1910. Folks looking out from the crown of the Statue of Liberty, 1952. A wooden railway bridge, part of the Northern Pacific Railway, symbolises the engineering achievements that connected the Midwest to the Pacific coast. Montana, 1883. An Iron Man of the past in a diving suit. The suit's name was Iron Man, too. It had electric charging and pressure protection systems. This was in New York, 1907. There were no Germans. There was a Czech man and his restaurant in Massachusetts after Germany occupied the rest of Czechoslovakia, 1939. Officers of the National Woman's Party hold a banner outside of their headquarters in June 1920. The 19th Amendment was passed 2 months later, in 1920. There's an alien statue in London from 1954. There's a smiling fellow who works as a lab technician. He was hired to watch couples kiss. The purpose of this was to see how well lipstick stays on. El Chispas Robot, Spain, in 1953. Walter Owen Bentley in his 1927 Bentley. Listening to Records, 1957. There's a crowd at a boxing match in 1943. Cleveland police officers seizing a rolling moonshine distillery in February of 1929. It's Lost Luna Park in Melbourne, the early 1950s. This picture was taken by Philip Jones Griffiths in Vietnam in 1968 during the Battle for Saigon. The American GIs often showed compassion toward the Viet Cong. (1949) Nash Air Flight, first sleeper car. A huge crater was made in a road at Elephant and Castle, London, on September the 7th, 1940, after a night raid on London. Queen Elizabeth II's wedding cake, 1947. Thou Shalt Not was photography created in 1940 to protest the Hays Code. Legends say this poster could be found backstage at the Paramount and other studios, showing a symbolic violation of every main point of the infamous Hollywood censorship. An Old Man with His Best Friend, Vermont, 1918. A laryngophone, it's a noise-excluding telephone. It only sends vibrations from the vocal cords when the microphone is pressed against your throat or cheek. This was in 1929. So there's a picture with 3 people in it. The woman is smiling and she's wearing a hat. She's got a hand on a man's shoulder. The man she's touching is also smiling. The other man is smiling too. Thor Stoner and Sage. June 6, 1942. The Japanese heavy cruiser Mikuma is burning and listing after being hit by 6 bombs, and her torpedoes exploded. She was the first Japanese cruiser sunk in World War II. Nikola Tesla, who lived from 1856 to 1943, a naturalized American physicist, is sitting in his Colorado Springs laboratory with his magnifying transmitter in 1899. A dancer named Aisha, with 2 pythons wrapped around her, entertained patrons at La Persiana in Brussels, 1945. The first atomic bomb, Gadget, is being unloaded for the Trinity test in New Mexico in July of 1945. The Tiller Girls performed for the Queen of New York Beaches, Madge Merritt, in 1923. From the stage of the Old New York Metropolitan Opera House, 1937. So cyclists are smoking cigarettes while they're competing in the 1927 Tour de France. People dressed in clothing of the opposite gender between 1880 and 1900. Alright, so, this is the head of a Joseph Stalin statue. It's out on the streets of Budapest during the Hungarian Revolution of 1956. Jack Nicholson in Paris in 1975. He's wearing a dark coat and smiling. He's standing on a street. There's a vehicle behind him. Young ladies, late 19th century. The creation of quadricycles shows how Henry Ford could balance his job as a chief engineer with his passion for invention. This was in Detroit, Michigan, in 1896. It's Salvador Dali and Harpo Marx in 1936. An American soldier shows off the helmet that saved his life during the Vietnam War. It was around 1969. The construction of the US Capitol Dome in 1855. The gas mask party was held in 1983. There were many people, some with gas masks and some without. A man is watching intently as moonshine is poured down a drain. His expression hints at unspoken thoughts about the loss. This is in Minneapolis, Minnesota in 1940. Iron Thunder, Crow Eagle, Fool Thunder and Slow White Buffalo are all holding peace pipes. This happened in the Dakota Territory during the 1880s. Tom Jones is celebrating his birthday with friends and fans, capturing a lively moment in the singer's life. 1974. A keeper hand feeds a porcupine in 1924. Private First Class. Richie sniffs at the delicate perfume of a girl far away as he opens a letter. This is Vietnam, April 12, 1966. Pasadena Tournament of Roses Chariot Race, Los Angeles, 1911. Two-faced Pascal Pignon? Most likely, the second head was a twin brother whose head somehow fused with Pasquale's head in the womb. He was born in 1889 in Mexico. The Disneyland parking lot is overflowing with cars on its opening day, which marks the debut of the iconic theme park. Anaheim, California, July 17, 1955. Hitler practiced body language. He was in a room. He was in front of a mirror. He practiced different poses. He used his hands in one pose. He put his hands at his side in another pose. He looked at himself. He stared at his reflection. He was focused. He wanted to appear strong. He tried to project power. He practiced this for 1 hour. Okay, so we've got Victorian public disinfectors sanitizing the streets in the 1870s. The Independent Shoe Black, Vintage London. The tiniest member of the Royal Navy with his pals, 1941. Ted Bundy's yearbook photo from 1965. Shakespeare's birthplace before Restoration, 1850. The man's name on the left was Horace Greasley. He was a British POW, famous for escaping over 200 times to visit his girlfriend, a local Jewish girl. The German officer he's staring down is Heinrich Himmler. A test of a superconductor in 1901. The Lincoln Memorial is under construction, showing the early stages of one of Washington, D.C.'s most iconic landmarks, Washington, D.C., 1907. Fidel Castro is in New York during an interview in 1955. This is a double-exposed photograph of the French illusionist Henri Robin with a ghost. It's from 1863. Marlon Brando, a cat lover, once declared, "I live in my cat's house." Theodore Roosevelt on a cougar hunt, 1901. It's the Chernobyl disaster. Liquidators are on the roof of reactor number 3, and this was in 1986. A girl's in a cart being pulled by an alligator. This was in Los Angeles, California, United States back in the early 20th century. Jenny the monkey, the ship's pet, was aboard the British vessel, HMS Westminster. The date is unspecified. Frédéric Chopin, 1849. Okay, here we go. Skinheads and Hippies, Piccadilly Square, 1969. A beautiful woman rides a bicycle, capturing the fashion and charm of 1930s America, USA, 1935. Elvis and his mother Gladys. She was a devoted mom. He was her only surviving child. They were very close. She died when he was just 23. There's a young girl with 2 gigantic kittens. Two friends are strolling in a cool stream on a warm day, 1910. Seeing 2 Mickeys on a Parisian street in the early 1930s either elicited pure delight or sheer terror. Okay, this is about an amphicar, a 4-seater floating car. It's from the 1960s. Here's what Albert Einstein looked like when he was in his 20s. Pablo Picasso as Popeye, 1957. The ducks are at Buckingham Palace. This happened in the 1960s. Before radar, soldiers used large, cartoonish listening devices to detect approaching enemy planes by sound. A school teacher is hitting a boy student over a desk in Menominee, Wisconsin, in 1905. So someone is charging an electric car in the garage. This is happening in New York back in 1911. There's an ostrich carriage being stopped by the police for going over the speed limit. This happened in Los Angeles during the 1930s. Italian drivers are sleeping in their carts in Rome, 1908. Pablo Picasso and Françoise Gillot, 1948. All right, here's the call for recruits from London during World War I. Men of London, Britain is at war, the Empire needs you. Will you do your duty? God save the King. Enlist today. Bike sailing in Florida, 1903. In 1911, the wreck of the Arden Craig off the Isles of Scilly, west of Cornwall. Italian troops are raising a gun, and there's a dog and a soldier on a mountain. This is the Italian Alps, and it's 1915 during World War I. (1916), the first cable car crossing over Niagara Falls. The original photo of the discovery of the tomb of Tutankhamun, 1922. Alright, so we're talking about a French device. It was from the 1930s. It was used for washing and massaging breasts. A couple's on the Canon from the 1950s. Exercises at the Sint Willebrodus Mental Hospital, Netherlands, Henk Blansjaar, 14th of February 1956. Marilyn Monroe during a ballet lesson in Hollywood, 1949. Viet Cong fighters are taking position in a lotus field as they get ready to ambush American troops stationed in South Vietnam, 1969. A woman passenger climbs out of the rear window of a tram in Detroit, Michigan, on June 21, 1943. This happened after a mob stopped the car. They were trying to get the black passengers off during race riots. Young Pioneers, the Soviet government youth group, are putting on gas masks for an attack preparation drill in the Leningrad area in 1937. American servicemen salute a Soviet traffic controller at the Brandenburg Gate, Berlin, 1945. The Saigon robot from Italy, 1957. The original Michelin Man from 1898. Calamity Jane, 1901. Moscow, 1954. Algeria, 1940 to 1960. There's a Muslim couple and a European couple. It's two stories about civilization and religion, but it's all in one country. Back when a woman couldn't produce mother's milk, goat's milk was the next best option, 1927. Children in France were playing with a toy guillotine in 1959. The bricklayer is depicted in 1928. Child nurse Róża Maria Goździewska in Warsaw, Poland, 1944. The Wonder Wheel at Coney Island, 1938. Alright, let's talk about a battery-powered scooter from 1918. A long line of people are waiting outside a food establishment. This reflects the hardships and scarcity during the Great Depression. It was between 1929 and 1940. In the 1930s, kittens were already risking themselves at high altitudes and causing trouble for electric company employees. Folks from Pyongyang, North Korea, and refugees from other places are crawling across a dangerous tangled bridge made of girders. It's across the Taedong River on December 4th, 1950. They're trying to get away, heading south to escape the Chinese communist troops that are moving in. A couple kisses while wearing surgical masks to prevent infection during a flu epidemic in 1937. Doctors Lieberman and Osborne established one of the pioneering departments dedicated to IVF, marking a milestone in reproductive medicine. It was 1980. She was one of the last indigenous people of Tasmania, exterminated by British settlers in 1869. An Italian harpist is entertaining children on the street during the 1870s. Boating in Central Park, New York in 1933. A boy watches as crowds of segregationist demonstrators walk to Arkansas's Little Rock Central High to protest the first African American students in a white school, 1957.